Well, hello. Hey, guys. We are so excited that you are joining us for another episode of The Breathing Room. We have some really exciting things to share with you guys today. So thanks for jumping on. Make sure that you like this video and that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit the little subscribe button, ding, 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 or the bell. So we're just excited that you're here, and please share this video on your Facebook platform, on your IG platform. So just make sure that you do all of that. But otherwise, we're excited to see you. Today, we have a really, really exciting topic to talk to you guys about, all right?
Yes.
Something that can sometimes give us grief, but can be really beautiful if you do the work to cultivate it. So today we are talking about adult friendships. Raise your hand if you've been on the struggle bus with adult friendships before. I'm just saying. For sure. Okay, so just open up a little bit. I recently had a really, really hard time, y'all, ending a friendship, or I didn't even end it. It just kind of like, for real though, my friend it was somebody who I thought was my friend, y'all, she ghosted me. She gave me the deuces. She dropped the deuces. That's why I had to wear my deuce t-shirt today. But it was really difficult for me, y'all, and I hadn't lost a friendship like that in a while, and it was somebody that I considered to be very close to me and just a real friend, and we was rocking it for a while, and then all of a sudden circumstances changed and conditions changed, and then she ghosted me, and it hurt my poor little feelings, and I really had to do some work on the inside and forgive her so that I didn't like see her on Facebook and Twitter and like feel some kind of way in my heart, because that's wrong, you know.
Right.
But it was really, really tough. And I think that is a friendship that I had. So background on me, I've had friends since I was in 8th grade that are still in my life today. And so I haven't really had to do the work to cultivate and maintain friendships, because I've had these friendships since I've been in 8th grade. So now today, friendships coming into my life, just the work to maintain it and stuff was something new to me, I think. And running into those issues was difficult for me. So that was tough. Ash?
Yeah. Friendships, I don't know where I start. Like, I mean, I guess as you get older, your definition of friendships change. When we're younger, we look at friends more as like having fun, we laugh together, not so much you have a lot in common. I know like most of my friendships, like when I was in my 20s, was like we just had fun. Like we went out, went bought outfits to go out to the club. But then as you get older, you start to mature. When I got saved and started coming into who I am, like as a woman, of course my friendship changed. And I met one friend when I got saved. And this was when I was before I moved to Georgia. I met her, and when I met her, my whole definition of friendship changed. Like she was loyal to me, she helped me do different things. She was a single mom at the time. I was a single mom. She just helped me do a lot. And I was like, wow, like this is something I never experienced before. And even now we are still friends, but now that we're older, our friendship, the dynamic of our friendship has changed. It's a long distance friendship. We can't talk every day because we both busy. Like we both married, we both have kids. But there was a time where she wasn't married. I mean, we have seen each other grow. And I think that's why our friendship is so strong, even though we don't talk every day, is that we have been through so much together. But even when I moved to Georgia, I didn't have friends. Like I didn't have many friends, and um, most of the friends that I did begin to have were the ones that I went to church with. So when we was at the same church, we was close. I mean, we hung out outside of church, but it was because of the church I went to. Well, when I left the church, all the friends left. Like, I mean, there were other circumstances that we don't have to get into, but I mean, it was just the fact that okay, we're not at the same establishment. We don't share this same common ground anymore. So the friendship, I guess, to me, I feel like it didn't really have much room to grow because there was some type of what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it was something that we didn't have in common no more. That both was very important in our lives. Like, we didn't have the same pastor anymore. So the things I may like about your pastor now, you love about your pastor. So I have to watch what I say. So the conversations were different. So I think the number one thing about cultivating adult friendships is honesty and maturity. Like, and I feel like if you really feel like your the friendship is not working anymore, I think you should just have that conversation. Like, okay, and I know we're gonna talk about this further down, but like setting expectations about the
Mhm.
friendship. Like me and my friend at my long distance friendship, like, you know, we have an expectation that we're not going to see each other all the time. I mean, we're
Mhm.
not going to talk all the time. Maybe like once a week, maybe like once
Right,
every 2 weeks. It's just that expectation, but it doesn't mean that we're not still besties. You know, the word.
right, right.
Yeah.
We're still besties. We have, like I said, we have been through a lot with each other. So, and I think it was a point in our friendship. Our friendship was tried too. Like there was a point where we didn't have like where somebody, I mean, it was just messy, but at some point we just had to come together and talk about what we expect out of the friendship. So I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, for the friendships that I have now, like all of you guys, I mean, y'all pretty much all I have, like, cause
Oh, we love you, girl.
y'all like
My
okay.
girlfriend.
Yeah,
They need to bring that show back.
they do.
Okay,
Right.
Oh.
we can be the
And
stars.
what I like, and you know what I like about this dynamic, we are diverse in all our situations.
Mhm.
Right.
Because, you, Savannah, and Miriam, y'all are like much younger, almost a 10-year difference than me. But
Mhm.
it's a lot that I can relate to you guys. Like,
Mm-hmm.
y'all are relatable.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm talking to somebody that's almost 10, younger than me. So I know it had to be it's a transition from y'all just being married with a family in y'all 20s. Me in my 20s,
Girl,
I
Liddy.
had kids.
Yes.
But I still was like, I still wanted to turn up a
Y'all.
little bit.
So when I got married, that reminds me. Okay, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but I have a story similar to the Tim's. Like, I have a girl that I was best friends with. We went through nursing school together. We were single moms together. We grew up together. We were together every day. We spent the night together. I thought she was like my best friend. I got married, right? I come to know Jesus. I got saved. I got married. My whole life kind of started changing. And she kind of ghosted me, like Tim was saying. And that still
Right.
hurts me, y'all. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of salty. That hurts me because I really loved her. I really thought, like
Yeah.
we were best friends. And I'm coming to find out, like, I still don't really have hard feelings. I'm just confused, kind of like Jatim. Like what happened? Like, why didn't we sit down and have the conversation,
Right.
and set expectations and like, okay, even though I'm married now and, I'm in church more, and all the time and I'm having different conversations and I'm not wanting to go party or drink every Friday, Saturday night, how can I still be your friend? Like we never sat down and had that conversation and it just really hurt me. It's kind of like we just grew apart but just like that. And
Yeah.
Right.
it's like, it's like
Like
I
what
found
happened?
that a lot of friends are seasonal in that way. A lot of my lifetime, my friends have been seasonal. Like I got pregnant when I was 16. So that, a lot of friends in high school went
Mhm.
away. Then I got married and that friend went away. So I'm really having a hard time like adjusting and I could use like some of y'all's advice too, like Ashley was saying, as far as like how to cultivate those friendships and make sure they're not just superficial and just based off
Yeah.
of like a season or one thing in common. Because I've really had a hard time with that, especially with this most recent friendship.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been what
I have
about
a
you?
question. I have a
Or
question.
yeah.
So like you just said about seasonal friendships, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question. What if we talk about your friends who ghosted y'all? What if in that, let's say we're in this season of ghosting, right? And let's say you have a life change, they have a life altering or life changing moment,
Yeah.
and then you guys, something brings y'all back together. How do you feel about reconnecting, like friendship that we fell off, we didn't really, there was no falling out, but we fell off, and then now we're in a different phase in our lives, and now we're back on. Do you guys think that, okay?
Mom life.
Hashtag mom life.
Do you guys think that, would you be open to rekindling a friendship from somebody who ghosted you?
That's a good question. Just Tim, you go first.
Yeah, that's fine. I feel like in my heart, I don't necessarily trust that person. We would have to have a conversation. So in my heart, I've forgiven that person. And that was something that I had to do, because had you asked me this like some months ago, I would be like, heck no, because I had like this bitterness in my heart towards that person,
Right.
because I was so hurt. And so I really had to take the opportunity to really let God deal with me and forgive that person. We would have to have a conversation about expectations of a friendship and like agree that, hey, and I would have to express my hurt, because I still haven't had the opportunity to do that. Like, hey, you hurt me because you just ghosted me. If you have the desire that you want to build this friendship again, then that's something that we're gonna have to build. And these are my expectations in this. And to be honest, what I really think the problem is that, and obviously what I've done, not in just this situation, but in other, what I've called friendships in the past, is that I've given people this title of friend, that a friend to me is like near and dear to my heart. Like, that's legit, like, and I'll do whatever for you. And I think I've given people the title of friend when they really were just like associates or like colleagues or whatever it is. And then I have these unspoken expectations, and they don't meet them, but probably because they were never meant to be a friend in the first place, and I'm giving them this title, but we just had things in common. Like, we're both moms, and we're both wives, and we both go to the same church, and we both do. And I've said that because of all these things, and those are the reasons why we hang out. It's not because we're friends, it's because we have things in common. And I've called you a friend, and we just got things in common. And so then when circumstances change and we don't have those things in common anymore, you're not doing the things you used to do before first, but you were just never a friend. So I think that was a wake-up call for me a few weeks ago. Like, I need to stop handing out this title friend. Really, we just are cool because we got a lot of stuff in common. Mary, you was gonna say something?
It's okay to have those type of people in your life, like people who you just bond with because you have something in common.
Right.
I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I agree with that. But you know what though? There was a time in my life where I stopped giving people titles. Like, and it helped me so much. Like, and one girl told me I was being disrespectful because I wasn't calling my pastor. I was like, oh, hi, Dylan. Like, I was like, oh, hi, such and such. But that helped me, because I'm like, if they do something wrong, then it's okay. And I think when we give people a title, and when they don't meet the expectations of their title, we think they did something wrong, or maybe they did something wrong, but maybe it was because of we put them in a place where, like you said, where they did not belong at the time. And I think, like you said, I think it's okay to have friends where y'all have things in common. I think that's great, because you learn from each other, you grow from each other. But when it comes to the word friend, I think once you define that for yourself, I think you just wouldn't cause so much hurt and pain, because you are now putting a definition around it. Like, okay, this is what I want in a friend. This is what I see in a friend. And when we seek that out and we get that, not saying it's going to be perfect, but I think it wouldn't cause so much like hurt. Like just him said, like, okay, you didn't meet the expectations of my friendship. I'm hurt.
Yeah.
But once we start thinking about it, like, okay, well, is it my fault sometimes that what do you guys think? Like,
I think that in any relationship, when you're getting into a relationship, when we got into relationships with our spouses before we were married, we had conversations about expectation. Like, there was just things that you expect. You getting to know each other. I think a friendship is also a relationship. And I think times we jump into friendships, and on both sides there is no conversation about, in this relationship, what do we expect from one another? You know what I'm saying? And we just jump into it and then get lost along the way. So I think that a friendship should be like any other relationship that you get in a romantic relationship. There's expectations that need to be communicated from Jump Street. So that way, when somebody does something and doesn't meet an expectation, then there's space to have that conversation. Because you didn't have the origin conversation, then how do you come and be like, you didn't do this? Well, I didn't, you never told me.
Right.
You expected me to do that. So
and I guess that helps me a lot too, because like I said, I'm new, like I'm looking for advice basically here. Like, so basically, as your seasons change, what you're saying is, as the season changes, we should have that conversation with those friends. Like, if we want to, continue to cultivate that relationship? Is that what y'all think?
I
Like,
think, well, I talked a lot. Ashley, go ahead.
I talked a lot too. Like y'all know, I get to talk a lot.
Miriam, Tiki.
yeah, what you got?
Ask the question one more time. You said as the seasons change, you
So,
kind of
yeah,
redefine
like,
expectations. Yeah, because I think you do
Yeah.
that in marriage. Well,
Yeah.
in my marriage, we do like as our needs change, as our wants change, as our desires change, we communicate those things and see like, okay, this is where I am. Because being young
Mhm.
and transitioning really quickly into wifehood and then mommyhood, like back to back. I
Right.
had to adjust some of my friendships as well. Like, hey, like, yeah, you may call, I may not pick up. Like, that's just,
Right.
let's just get that, understood.
Girl.
Even male friendships, before I got engaged and we were in a relationship, my husband and I just sat down and were like, okay, we're not opposed to having friends of the opposite sex, but it's kind of going to be like a mutual friend. It's just not going to be that's your friend, that type of thing. And so that had to be communicated
Good
as well.
conversation too.
Yeah, like that had
Yeah,
to be
that's a good-
communicated.
yeah.
'Cause I in college, I was in a sorority and I had a lot of alpha brothers, and they don't know my husband. They don't, so it's just like I had to define those relationships. Like,
Set
look,
boundaries,
y'all can't
yeah.
be calling me at 11 o'clock at night no more. I'm
Yeah.
not single.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're cool. Yeah, you my bro, but I'm married or I'm getting married. That type of thing. So yeah, I definitely think as the seasons change, you just communicate and
Right, because I think that makes sure that you don't leave room for offense. Because, for
Right.
instance, before I had kids, and in my friend group of friends that we've been friends since the 8th grade, before we all had kids, like we could talk on the regular. Now we got kids. I can't answer your phone all the time. You know what I'm saying? But before I had kids and they had kids, I didn't understand that, because it's just some things you don't understand until you have a kid.
Until you have a kid, exactly.
Right, exactly. And so I would be like, why they ain't answering the phone? Why they can't do this? Why they can't do that? But it's because they got a freaking kid, and it's just not easy to find a babysitter. And now I get it, because I got a kid. Now I'm the friend that's like, girl, I can't come. I got to watch my kid.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that when you have those conversations, then that there's no room for the offense, because then you just have to understand,
Yeah, and I also think that anytime, if y'all like me, I always try to find room to grow and evolve, and just, always doing self-examinations, evaluations on myself. But anytime you are always involving and you are changing, I think the first thing you should do before you even have a conversation with anyone about expectation, you should have the conversation with yourself. Like, I have changed over the years. I'm not the same person who I am. So anytime that you are changing and evolving, you can always expect your expectations to change from yourself as well. Like, I don't expect, because I'm a mom now, I'm a wife now, like, I don't expect to be all like hanging out and like, I can't do this because I don't want to abandon my role as a mom or my role as a wife. So of course I don't expect me to be out hanging out. So once you set that expectation, immediately some of your friends leave, because now that you're different, you can't you can't be involved in or even keep the same company. Like, so I think that anytime you're involving and changing as a woman, I think you definitely have to have that conversation. And sometimes, like, I mean, I know for me, like, I have just over the last couple of weeks just been home and quarantine and all this stuff going on. I have really started to revisit who I am, because I mean, me and my husband have been married for 5 years, but I also, like, the same year me and my husband met, I married. And then a couple of months later, I was pregnant. And then, I mean, it's so much happened. So I was like, man, I need to catch up. Like, because, I need to catch up with what has happened in my life over the last couple of years.
Yes.
Like, I'm not the same person. And if we don't do that, it kind of make us feel, if we don't kind of sit down and have those conversations with ourselves, it makes us feel like we are, what's the word I'm looking for?
Losing yourself in a sense.
You done lost yourself. You don't know who you are anymore, and it's because you haven't sat down and say, okay, well, now I'm a wife. What does being a wife look like?
Right.
What does a wife look? Who am I? What do my husband expect out of me? Or what does a mom look like for me? So you just have to define all these little miniature roles that you have, and I think once we have those conversations with ourselves, we'll be able to place expectations on other people.
Mhm.
Right.
I think with
So,
me,
I have a
I've just come to grips with I'm one of those people who have long, no, not long distance, low maintenance friendships.
Yeah.
Um,
They're necessary.
and it's like me, I'm not a low maintenance. Like I need my friends. Like I need, like, you know, it's a weekend. I want my girlfriend to come over and be like, girl, what you doing? You and
Mhm.
your come on over this house. And I'm learning that about myself now, but I really had to come to grips with that. I have for the longest have had low maintenance friendships, and they're fine. Because you need those solid friends that's gonna hold you down no matter what. Y'all go a month or two without talking.
girl, I can't be friends with my college
Y'all come
friends.
back, when y'all come back, it's like
Mm-mm.
y'all, like y'all never left. But I'm realizing, and those friends, I love those friends. Like I have my best friend. We've been friends since freshman year in college, and life has taken its turn. She's gotten to the she went to the Navy, got out of the Navy. Different experiences. So we had people in our life where we didn't talk, but when we came back together, it was like we picked up right where we left off.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
so appreciative for her. And it's like it hurt my feelings a lot because she lives in a different city, and I'm here, and I'm like, I want my friend, like if it's the weekend,
I mean, yeah.
let's hang out. You got kids, I got kids. I'm really learning that I'm in that place to where I want, I'm a needy friend in a sense. And I know that I have a lot to give to a friendship. Like if I'm rocking with you, I'm rocking with you.
Yeah.
Call me at 2:00 in the morning, and if you call me and I'm up, or if it sound crazy, hey, husband, I'll be right back. I got to go.
Right.
I swear when I get back, but I got to go because my girl needs me. I'm that kind of friend, and so it's just like, it doesn't matter what happens. I know that I'm the kind of person that if I got it, you need it, you call me, boom. And so it's like I'm realizing that I kind of want that same thing in return.
Yeah.
Like on a close proximity level. And I find it, y'all.
Oh.
I got your
I
back.
have a question.
You.
Do you guys
Go ahead,
do you
Mary.
guys find it hard, like when you transitioned into being saved, and then like growing with Christ, losing friends, but also in your like new friend circle or just your old friend circle too, you're like the spiritual leader for a certain sense, and so you can't really be yourself like you want to be yourself, if that makes sense, because you're the spiritual one in the group, or you're the saved one, and you're like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's my.
They look at you to be more mature.
That make all the sense to me because I'm the pastor's wife.
That's a great question for Jatim, because Jatim is her husband is like pastor.
So the friendships that I feel the most comfortable in is these friendships that I've had since I was 8th grade. Like they know me before I was the pastor's wife. They know me. They know Jatim, and I don't feel like I have to put on for them. Like I can always be Jatim, because let me tell you, I don't want to always be the pastor's wife. Like I just want to be me. I just want to be me. And in other friend circles, especially these friend circles where I say we have so much in common, like we go to the same church, or like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people I meet and develop relationships come from, like church or ministry or something like that. And I do often feel like, outside of y'all, because I feel like I can be myself with y'all. But other than that, like I just feel like I'm always like I can't do certain things that I want to do. It's nothing bad. I ain't trying to go smoke a blunt. I'm just nothing bad. I mean, but like I just want to like be me. I don't want to have to like be looked to for. I don't know. I mean, I'm always down to pray for you.
Right now, okay, guys.
Right. I don't want to have to have Bible study with you tonight. I want to go and hang out. Like I want to dance. Let's go dance. We ain't got to go to the club because I don't club. But you know what I'm saying? I just want to have.
I get it.
I don't want to talk about like the revelation from this week and what the Lord done given me for the week. Like that's for let's say that for another time. Let's just be cool.
Let's just hang out.
Let's go do karaoke.
Okay. And it's hard to find friends. And to me, I just feel like I'm judged often. And then I have to be careful because then I don't like that judgment from me will pass on to like, oh, the prophet and the pastor got a worldly, she a worldly. You know? Oh,
She
Then
don't
they
what?
start judging him.
Oh,
Worldly. So I don't know. So I have a small group of people who I feel like I can just be me
yeah.
with. You know what I'm saying?
I
Those
feel
are hard to come by.
like I lost friends when I got saved, but then it's like once I lost those friends, then my new group of friends, like Jim was saying, expect me to be like this,
Mm-hmm.
this other person that's not really me to the core. I mean, yeah, I'm spiritual, but there's so much more, to my depth than just let's read the Bible every day.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
it's
think for me,
complicated.
I
Yeah.
think for me, like I actually enjoy not like having like a circle. I mean, y'all are my circle, but I'm talking about like having those because in the past I have had some high maintenance friendships. Like, like when I don't do something right, it's always, oh, what's wrong with you? Why you ain't call? Like, and
Sure.
I have had those friends before, and I'm like now since I have settled into like, being married and the kids, I feel like I have learned more about myself now because I don't have to cater to some of those friendships I used to have because it was just too much work. Like, and even now, like it's hard. Now there are times where I grieve it. Like I know when I used to have my close friends before I got married, yeah, we would have like adult sleepovers, like nothing. Like all of us would get together, all of our kids would get
Yeah.
together. We would just have snacks. We would have a good time. Like, and now, I mean, there are times I don't know if I want to do that again. I mean, sometimes I do feel like I want to do it again, but then I'm like, should I want to do that? I don't know. I guess it's just hard. Like growing up is hard.
Adulting. I have had those friendships in the past though too, where I felt like being their friend was a chore. Like I got to make sure that I do this. I call them twice this week and check on them, and
That's
because
too much. I don't have time for that no more.
high expectations, and at this point in my life, like I don't have time for these high maintenance and like friendships where you need to check all these boxes so I can prove that I'm your friend. Like I said before, like right now, friendships might consist of like a play date with the kids, and that's our time to catch up while we have some coffee and the kids is playing, running amok. Like maybe that might be our time, or maybe we might not be able to talk to you this week and really like sit down and have a deep conversation. As much as I want to, I just don't have the time, and I'm tired. So maybe we'll get together at some other time. And so I just don't have time for those friendships that feel like a chore. Like, and I don't have time for friendships that have like an agenda behind it. And I find that a lot too in my life. Like people just want to be my friend just so they can say they close to me because of my husband or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have time
for you to prophesy to them.
Right. I don't have time to perform. Like I don't want a friendship where I have to perform. I don't want a friendship where I got to I'll check all these boxes. Like I just want to be me and you be you. And like that's enough for each other. And we love each other. We ride or die for each other. We there for each other. Even if we don't see each other for 3, 4, 5 months. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when I see you again, it's like nothing ever happened, So, and that's hard to find. That is hard to find.
Yeah. I think in this season, I'm definitely the low maintenance friend. Like if you need a low maintenance friend, that's me. I got you.
Yeah.
I barely answer my phone. I may text you back 2 days later.
I know that's how I am nowadays.
But the important part is like, no, don't find offense in that, right? Like, because I feel like that's where me and my other friend that I was talking about, I think that we were trying to develop into that low maintenance friendship, but we ended up finding offense in it. And it's because we didn't sit down and have that conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a learning lesson for all of us, like that conversation. Friendships is a relationship just like any other that you got to cultivate and be intentional about.
Yeah.
Hard conversations.
This whole conversation.
I mean, I'm glad that you guys understand that. Okay, Ashley, she gonna text back. I mean, y'all know me. Like I may text. Text works way better than me than a phone conversation because I can't hear half of the time. Like text me, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook, I will answer. But calling me, don't
call me. If you call me,
I won't answer. I promise you, I won't answer.
You call me in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I never have time to talk a lot, but I like to talk more than text. But I don't have the time to do it all the time. And if somebody does call, I feel bad. Like, for instance, my single friends, I do have a couple, very few. Or not even single friends. They're married. They just ain't got kids yet.
Yeah.
And
they
so,
single, girl. I'm playing.
So when they call, and like this morning I was on the phone calling, Avery was like doing the most, and I'm like, I gotta go, I gotta call you back. Like I just can't talk. Like let's text because
just text me.
I enjoy the conversation. I just don't have time for it. Yeah.
I think that's with me, because if we get on the phone, I'm like I said, I'm a talker, so we can go from one topic to the next topic, and we'll be on the phone for hours. But like you said, when you got these kids these kids will make you be great.
Yeah, it's like you have to find time to make a phone call. Like, oh my gosh, your kids are playing so quietly. Let me go hurry up and call such and such.
Y'all know
Like a nap.
Remember we used to be young, and like you would go, like you'd be up outside walking down the street talking.
Yes.
You go take the trash, you go to the mailbox just so you can talk to your friends or whatever.
On three-way.
I gotta do sometimes. I'll be out like, let me go sit in the car. You know what? I don't check my mailbox, but if I get a phone call, let me go scroll down.
Me too. I do that all the time. Yeah.
You know what, boys? Don't worry about it. I'll take the trash because I'm on the phone. I'll take the trash in at least 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm learning that a lot of my friends are, more responsive through text, and that's cool with me. You know, I can check on you through text. We can talk, because if I got something real juicy, I'm like, hey, I need you to call me.
Oh, I feel you in the eyes. I agree. I think the takeaway from this is really being communicating friendships that you have, and then just communicating those expectations. And then also recognizing that you're going to have people that you have things in common with, and that's great, and that's wonderful, because you need a tribe in specific areas, but you can't always give them the title of friend and just have these expectations for them. Like, have people that you go to church with, that you hang out. Have friends that are wives that you hang out with, that don't expect them to do these certain things if you haven't had a conversation and y'all have both decided we're entering into a relationship of friendship.
Yep.
Right.
So I think that's important.
I agree. And you know what? I prayed, and I know we gotta go, but like I prayed, like I think at some point when you reach a certain maturity and you just don't want to deal with certain things, like, Lord, please, like if this is not the friendship you want to for me to partake in, or it's not good for me, like please remove them. I mean, that sounds like a very cliche thing to do, but I think you just have to start being intentional and defining certain friendships in your life. Like, so prayer is always good. Like,
and for sure, I didn't ask the Lord, hey, remove them, saying I don't want to take them back, so remove them,
right?
So that and I'll just and give me the peace that I need to be all right with it, And understanding that sometimes you are going to have friends that come in your life that just do leave. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes there are seasonal friends, and you can have the conversation, and it just don't work no more because they just not meant to be in your life no more. So you got to heal and move on. You know what I'm saying? Check the
forgive.
Okay.
Throw the deuces.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it just be like that. So, yeah. Well, Tiki, you got the girl brief moment for us, boo?
So our girl brief moment for this week, for this episode is, as you all are reevaluating and, self-checking with this, checking in with yourself, take some time and, reevaluate your friendships. If you have those low maintenance friendships, take some time and you all talk, make sure that they're okay with it being low maintenance, making sure that if they're truly your friend, that you both stay on the same page. And, sometimes we got to go back to the drawing board and, rethink them friendships and rethink the links, and nothing's wrong with that. You shouldn't feel bad, because a relationship is give and take, whether it's not just a male and a female type relationship, but, girlfriend to girlfriend, because you, like we said, you need your girl tribe. So, that's our girl brief moment for the week.
Oh yeah, Savannah, you want to tell them where to find us, boo?
Okay, so on Facebook we're the Breathing Room, of course, and Instagram is Girl Breathe. YouTube is the Breathing Room, but the link to our YouTube channel is in our Instagram bio. That's probably your best bet. Don't forget to subscribe and to share this video, and catch us next week.
Yes, and also comment below if you guys have some friendships you want to talk about. Comment below. We'll talk about it with you.
Share your girlfriend experiences.
Please do. And we cannot wait to see you guys next week. So next week, Wednesday, we will be dropping another episode. And let me tell y'all, it's gonna be good. Okay,
real good.
Gonna be real good. So make sure y'all tune in. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see y'all next time. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.